Special thanks to Audiio for sponsoring this video. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 audio editing tricks you should know inside Premiere Pro. Let's dive in. So the first trick is to use audio time units. Now, audio time units can be very helpful, especially when adding in music. For example, I have this track from Audiio, and when I click and drag it to my timeline, by default the timeline is set up by displaying it in frames. So let's say if I zoom in here and try to align this audio with this cut point, I only have so many frames to work with when doing that. You can see it's just a little bit off. But when I change and turn on audio time units by going to the hamburger menu and going show audio time units, when this is enabled, I have the ability to zoom in even further and really align the audio right to that cut point. Now, another trick that you can use is to use the audio track mixer. The audio track mixer is very helpful, especially if you have several clips in your timeline and you want to add effects to all of them. For example, I've recorded a voiceover for my video here, but you can see that I have some cuts. I have this cut here and this cut here. If I wanted to add an effect to both of them, I can do that by using the audio track mixer. To bring up the audio track mixer, you can go up to Window, Audio Track Mixer, and then select your sequence that you're in. You can see that it displays each track by column here, and when we twirl down from the top left, we can click on the drop-down menu and add different effects to our audio track. And let's say if we add an effect here, the effect that we add applies to all the clips in that track. So if you have several clips on your timeline, this is a good way to add effects to all your clips. We'll be taking a look at some of the effects in here a little bit later in this video. Now, right now I have this voiceover, but it'd be really nice to use like a professional voiceover artist. That's where Audiio comes in. Audiio just came out with a new feature called Voices, where they have over 20 professional voices that you can choose from to create professional voiceovers for your videos. You can access Voices on Audio's website by clicking on the Voices button at the top. It's also available on the side menu here. When we scroll down, you can see that we have several different voices to choose from. You can also filter by accent or gender. So when you click on the drop down, if you wanted a certain type of accent, you can filter accordingly. Same with gender, so you can filter by gender as well. And to preview a voice, you can easily click the play button on the center here.
Hey, my name's Chris. Easy pace, crisp edges, and just enough bass to give your story weight.
And what's really nice is that all these voices are from professional voice artists, so you know you're getting a really nice output. You can browse them.
I'm Don. Polished, thoughtful, and just a little smoky.
When you find a voice that you like, you can click the Create button at the bottom right of it. This will take you to the Create tab. And how this works is that you can upload a recording of your voiceover that you'd like to use, and it will transform it into the voice of one of the actors. In this case, we selected Don's voice. So if you remember back inside Premiere Pro, I have this voiceover that I recorded for my script, and I exported it out as an MP3 file. So that way back inside Audiio, you can click on this button here to upload the audio file. I'm going to select it here and click Open. You can see that it's uploading and processing. And once it's uploaded, you can click Create Voiceover. Right now the AI is converting the voice. And once it's done, you can see that we have our generated voiceover. So we can click play to preview.
There's something kindless about this time of year. When winter settles in, the world slows down, just enough for us to enjoy the simple things.
I did want to mention that when you record your own voiceover, make sure you say it in the way that you want. So for example, if I redid this with, faster pacing or high energy, it would sound more like that. In this case, I went with a more slower, authentic feel. So if you're happy with the output, you can click on the download button here, and this will download it to your computer. Now, if you're interested in getting voices from Audiio, you can subscribe using my link down in the video description, and you can get up to 40% off using my promo code VOICES40 at checkout. With this, you'll get access to music, sound effects, all the AI features inside Audiio, as well as the new Voices feature. Thank you, Audiio, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's see how we can take this voiceover and edit it inside Premiere Pro. All right, so back inside Premiere Pro, I'm just gonna click and drag in our new voice from Audiio so that we have our voiceover. I'm gonna click and drag it to our timeline here. So when we play this back and we click play,
there's something kindless about this time of year. When winter settles in, the world slows down, just enough for us to enjoy the simple things.
So you can see it sounds good, but we need to make some adjustments to the mixing. And for this, I like to use the parametric equalizer effect. And you can do this by adding the effect inside Audio Track Mixer. That way, if you make cuts later on in your audio clips, it will always apply those effects to those clips. So first, let's work on the background music. So what's nice about an EQ effect is you can control all the frequencies inside your audio clip. To add the parametric equalizer effect to this audio track, what you can do is click on the drop down here, go to Filter and EQ, and go to Parametric Equalizer. Then you can double click on this effect to bring up the controls. And what I recommend for background music when it comes to audio is to bring down the mid frequencies. So what you're seeing here are the frequencies displayed in a graph form. You have your low bass on the left-hand side, and you have your high treble on the right-hand side. But the meat of the song is usually in the middle, between 1000 and 3000 hertz. You can see on the bottom bar here, it's displaying the frequency in hertz. So we have these points on this bar here, and what we can do is just easily click and drag down to remove the frequencies in that range. So you can see by clicking and dragging 0.3 down, we've decreased the frequencies in that area. And we can make adjustments to this curve by adjusting the gain and the width of each point. So since we just drug down band 3, we can make it wider by clicking and dragging on this right here. So if you click and drag it to the left, you can make it wider. You can also click and drag it to the right, and that makes it thinner. So in this case, I'm gonna go a little bit wider, maybe to 1. That way it cuts out quite a bit, but it keeps in the bass and the treble. Now when we click and play this back, take a listen, you can see that we cut out quite a bit of frequency, but it's still noticeable in the video.
Moments, year after year, never get old. Winter has a way of reminding us that joy doesn't go out.
To illustrate this is basically like doing this with your voice. It's kind of muffling it a little bit. And specifically when it comes to background music, that's what I like to do to keep it in there. You don't want to lower the volume too much, but you just kind of want to muffle it and put it in the background. Now, when it comes to voices, you can do the same with voices, but boost certain frequencies instead of removing them. So for example, I'm going to click on the X button here, and we can add the same effect to audio track 2 here. So if we click on the drop down, go to Filter and EQ, and go to Parametric Equalizer, we can once again double click. You'll also notice that you have presets at the top. For voices, I actually like the Vocal Enhancer preset. This boosts a little bit in the lows, it cuts out the low rumbles, but it boosts the highs. And usually when it comes to voiceovers, you want to boost the highs a little bit at least. It'll make it sound more crisp and clear. But typically I like bringing this down a little bit. It doesn't need to be that high, but this basically adds some clarity to your voice. So now when we click and play this back, you can see it's just a little bit clearer.
Year after year, never get old. Winter has a way of reminding us that.
Now you'll notice that it's a little low when it comes to the audio for voiceovers. And to fix this, I like to use a compressor. So to add a compressor, what you can do is click on the drop down, go to Amplitude and Compression, and go to Dynamics. This is one of my favorite compressors to use inside Premiere Pro. I'm going to double click on this. To enable the compressor, you can click on this check mark. And what a compressor does is it basically takes the highs of your audio and the lows of your audio, and it compresses it and makes it closer together. So it compresses everything, and then it brings it up usually. So how you can adjust the settings is by turning up the ratio, basically how much you're compressing it, and then the makeup volume, basically how much you need to make up after it has compressed it. And for the ratio, I usually choose 2 or 3. For this, I'm going to do 2 because I don't think it needs too much, just a little bit to compress it and boost it. And then for the makeup, I like usually doing 6 or 9. You also have a limiter over here, which can be very helpful if you're trying to keep your audio from not clipping. So you can always turn that on just so it doesn't ever clip. And now when we play this back, you'll notice that it's a lot higher. What I'm going to do is toggle this bypass button on and off so you can hear what it sounds like without it and with it. So let's take a listen.
Truly special is being surrounded by the people who matter most. These moments, year after year, never get old.
You can see it just adds a little bit to the audio. Now the background music is still a little bit too noticeable, and one other effect that you can use to kind of dim down and muffle the background music in this video is to use Studio Reverb. So to use the Studio Reverb effect, what you can do is click on the drop down inside Audio Track Mixer, go to Reverb, Studio Reverb. And when we click on this, one preset I like to use is called Great Hall. This just adds a nice, very big room reverb. And usually it's good for background music like this. So essentially what you want to do when you're editing background music is you want to make it more echoey or reverby, and you want the audio for the voiceover to be more crisp and clear. So that's why using these effects on these clips ends up working out really nicely. But just to show you here, this is what it sounds like with that default.
But what makes it truly special is being surrounded by the people who matter most. These moments, year after year, never get old.
So you can see there's no conflict now with the background music and the voiceover. So those are some audio editing tricks. Now, if you want to learn more about Premiere Pro, there's several tutorials on my channel. I will leave one video that you might like linked right up there. Feel free to go check that one out. Now, thank you again for Audiio for sponsoring today's video. Once again, if you do want to check them out, I will leave them linked down in the video description. And you can use the promo code VOICES40 at checkout to receive 40% off your order. But otherwise, that does it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.